I started my recruitment career, AKA headhunter, at 23 years of age, and it helped me become a millionaire by 30. I want to share this video with you to namely talk about four things of why I wanted to pursue sales jobs, even though the base salary was less than really half of what people make on a year to year basis. And the rest, I would have to take a chance on myself and earn commission. Let me tell you why these four reasons spurred me to take a sales career and why it actually worked out. So, number one is what drew me to sales jobs was not the low base salary. What drew me to sales jobs was the control over my income, as in, if I sucked, then I would make nothing. But conversely, if I was great at it, I could make a lot of money, not only in the first year, but in year two, year three, your commissions can actually exponentially amplify because the power of kind of compound interest in a way, right? All the activities that you're doing in year one, year two, year three are actually accumulating. So in my job as a headhunter, some candidates I talked to year one, it just wasn't the right time for them to move. But I kept those relationships alive and well. So year two, year three, I would be placing those candidates, if not once, sometimes twice, right? So there's this compounding effect that directly translates into more money for me. Not only that, it's commission income. So yeah, base salaries are low and that sucks. But if you're really, really good at your job, you can get paid really well. To me, that is more meritocratic, that is more fair. Because what I didn't like about some of my internships was that those jobs paid me an hourly rate. And some people say, well, that's a good hourly rate. Yeah, but I see something fundamentally unfair and wrong and lacks logic that, hey, if I'm doubly as efficient, doubly as capable as the person sitting next to me, why are we even being paid around a similar percentage basis? Right? Let's say the person next to me is making $10 an hour and I'm making 12 because I'm quote unquote better. That's a measly margin for my excellent work. I should be making double to triple because I'm double to triply good. But in a base salary job, you really don't see that. And so you're kind of limited, especially when you're young. You can't make 300,000 your first year unless you're one of those very lucky people who have one of those really amazing jobs at one of those most amazing companies, which I'm not going to qualify for. I'm just a regular Joe Schmo. Right. So I'm not going to be able to get a bougie, fancy software development job at a big four, a big FANG company. Yeah, no, not me. I don't have those skills. So a lot of normal people like you and I, if we want to make more money, sales actually makes sense because number two, if you're naturally inclined towards communication, towards speaking, public speaking, reading, writing, if these are your natural skills, then sales automatically aligns with those strengths. So for me, my natural strengths were directly related to the career field that I chose, which is why I chose the career field. I don't think that is smart, and I would never advise anyone who is socially terrified, who hates talking to people, to force themselves to take a sales job to get better at it because I think that would be torture. And I don't think you'd be very good at it because it's a very hard job to begin with. People who are naturally gifted at communicating already struggle with sales. So, someone who really doesn't like it should not be working to mitigate their weaknesses. I believe strongly in the career strategy of a person needing to identify their strengths and doubling up on the jobs that allow you to amplify those strengths instead of making up for your weaknesses by trying to invest time on that. This is why I personally did not want to pursue, let's say, a STEM career, a chemistry job. I absolutely suck at it. And that kind of self awareness is invaluable when you're just starting out. All right. So naturally, I hope you have some alignment with the career you're choosing. For me, it was obvious that I should be in sales. I have thick skin. I have a good humor sense. I can read and write well. I know how to speak well. I enunciate. I can speak multiple languages. I understand people. Sales is an obvious choice. I should not be doing anything else, right? So number two is sales jobs. For some people, it really does make sense, and that's your natural strength, and they should pursue it. I'm glad I felt that way because there was a time where my parents wanted wanted me to go pursue a STEM job. They wanted me to pursue being a lawyer. And I was like, ooh, I don't think those align naturally with my strengths, right? Law doesn't allow me to be Mr. Mrs. Funny, right? I don't get to use that. Whereas in sales jobs, every single day, I get to use my humor in a way to connect with other people and build relationships. So you just kind of have to have the guts to tell people, I kind of know what I'm doing and I can realize where my strengths are. And I'm going to find a career that aligns with those strengths. Therefore, sales works for people with a specific type of strength profile. Number 3 is women and minorities, such as myself, in corporate America, we have a more level playing field in a job where there are clear indicators of success. In political environments where there is not a clear indicator of success, people can backstab you and take credit for what you did. However, in sales jobs, especially the one I was in, there were clear rankings. Joe Schmo is number 10. I am number 1. Those numbers do not lie. The billing numbers speak for themselves. Because I was a very adept headhunter, my first year I was a top rookie. My second year I was global top biller. Third year I was global top biller. Every single year, every single month, you were getting shouted out because we had this system where every time you did a deal, it would send a company-wide email. So we get a lot of emails. And when you see the same names pop up, you're like, oh my God, that person is really killing it. So this is how I became famous in a global environment because our company sent out these emails and people were like, who the fuck is Dan, right? They don't know me, but they saw my name. And then at these top biller trips, they got to meet me. And before you know it, you're famous. So politically, if you are a top performer in sales jobs, it's a lot more even footing. There are still, I will say, heavily, heavily toxic environments that prioritize white men, but that's just case by case. Overall, I would say it's still mitigated compared to other types of jobs, which politically there's a lot less going for women and minorities. So this might be a little controversial, but this is what I'm saying because this is my lived experience. I personally experienced that having top billing capabilities gave me an edge over life in general, because once you have money, once you have success, once you have your meritocratic ranking system, it does give you a slight leg up in terms of career advancement. So definitely, I think women and minorities specifically can do very well in sales. In fact, women and minorities sometimes do the best in sales because there is a lot of charm related, a lot of connection related, and women are really, really good at this, right? So women, I think especially, are very attuned to doing very well in sales. It made no surprise at all that it ended up being a great career for me. Lastly, related to that note, I really enjoyed it. Fundamentally, that's why I stayed in sales. That's why I still love sales and I'm in sales, because I love it. You can't stop me from talking to people and connecting with people because I genuinely am passionate about it. And not only that, if you're good at sales, you can do anything. You can literally do anything. If you know how to sell, you can be a landlord like I do. You can be an entrepreneur like I do. You can be a content creator like I do, because communication is everything. Selling is everything. Selling makes the world go around. So if you can make it here in your sales job, you can make it anywhere. And no less, I did it all in New York City. So that song hits home really hard. My point here is there are many benefits for sales careers, especially for people like myself who want success early. I don't want to wait till I'm 60 to make 200,000. I'd like to make that sooner rather than later. And by the age of 25, that's how much I was clocking in 2013. So we haven't even looked at inflation adjusting for that. Anyways, my point here is take a deeper view of career opportunities. Don't write off sales. I know a lot of times, certainly in my family, we poo-pooed sales. Oh, only dumb people do sales. Oh, sales is for people that can't get other jobs, like real jobs. No, sales is a real ass job. It is an actual career. In fact, it is one of the most lucrative, rewarding, life-changing, financially enriching, mentally enriching, and challenging jobs that ever existed. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. And if you're ready to start your sales career, make sure to follow my journey and ask me any questions you like.